Greendale Board of Public Works, April 27th, 2026, 5 p.m. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. City of Greendale, in compliance with our Title VI implementation plan, is a non-discriminating city. We have developed a complaint of discrimination form that is open to the public at any time, along with a voluntary public survey. Okay, sanitation discussions and new garbage truck purchase. Anyone have any questions, concerns, comments? You good? Okay. So we priced them through Sourcewell from Best.
Yep.
And the rear packer is a single axle. It's a Freightliner chassis?
I believe so, yeah.
I think so. I'm doing it from memory. I don't have it in front of me.
Yep, Freightliner.
Yep. And the one arm is a Mack chassis because it's a snub nose.
Yeah.
And it is, it's 8 months out.
No, minimum 10 months.
Minimum 10 months out. So that's why, that's where the urgency comes in. The rear packer is available as of last time we checked today, correct?
Yeah, it was available as of this morning, about 10 o'clock when they called and asked if we were ready to buy it or not, so.
Okay, so.
I guess I do have one question.
Sure.
On the rear loader, it says that the 2024 model year was specified, is that right?
That actually should probably be right. It's never been used. They actually built that truck. It was part of Donald Trump's campaign for presidency. So they actually built that, and it was part of his campaign. He was pictured in it and stuff.
It's the actual truck.
Yeah, so they've essentially built it as part of his campaign. It was actually in D.C. for the inauguration, and then it's basically just been sitting, waiting for somebody to actually buy it and put it in service. So, like I said, it's brand new other than the year.
And it's got dual tippers?
Yeah.
Dual tippers.
So the email, I apologize, I just briefly had a minute to look at it just before I came down here today. But there was a couple documents in there that Nathan, you sent. There was one that said $259 for the price, and then there was another document for $264.
Yeah, so that one, so the 264 is what it would be if we package it together. That other one I sent you was when we were just talking about buying the rear, in case for some reason Becky and I weren't able to figure out financing before this meeting. The difference in the price is because that old one of the 258, I believe it was, with just the rear, that was only good for 14 days, and we ran out of the 14-day time frame, so we basically had to redo it.
Okay.
So, inflation or whatever you want to call it, they raised it another $5 or $6 grand, whatever it is.
Then just one more kind of question for just the operation. What's the plan going forward? Like before we had the one arm and the smaller single axle garbage truck, and then the dual, which was just a backup. So going forward, is it still that same program?
Yeah. Ideally, when we can get the new rear will be the everyday truck along with the one arm. Then the 2012 model, when that comes back from getting fixed, that will go back into the spare,
Okay.
and then probably use it as recycling as well.
So then, let me get this right then. So are any of these getting traded in, like the one arm?
So we'll trade the one arm in when we get the new one next year, because obviously we can't trade that in until we get a new one for it. And then the 2006, I believe it is, rear, we're gonna see about trading it in, but I don't know if they'll give us anything for it, to be honest. But we'll go down that route, and if not, then we'll probably have to seek another option of selling it somehow.
I had a resident, you guys can figure it out, ask me if we'd put it out, take it out to Lutz's. So,
Is it a single or tandem, you know?
Bob, do you know what?
It's tandem.
so it must have some value to somebody.
Somebody
is
make a
what I'm
dump
saying.
truck out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, I don't know how easy it would be to make it a good garbage truck again, but you definitely, to your point, you could make a dump truck or flatbed probably out of it.
Yeah, mechanically, it just did work to it well, not recently, within the last couple of years. So mechanically, I mean, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, a lot of it's just the
The
garbage.
bed's falling.
Yeah, the
Right.
bed and the garbage truck itself is past carrying, but the truck itself is still in pretty good shape.
So,
So then where are we then? We're obviously considering buying the one arm and a single, or potentially just buying the single and make work, but we got 10 months.
well, we need to commit to the 10-month one now.
Right.
So what we suggested today, after talking to Nathaniel and I and Becky talked, our suggestion is for you guys to make a motion to approve buying both trucks and let Becky figure the financing out to work best for Greendale at that point.
Because right now, the time me and Becky had, we're thinking we can do the 3 years for both in this proposal through the NCL, but until we fully know some of the ins and outs of our numbers, we might have to move it to say 5 years, or we even talked about maybe going with Savista. But
Savista has not a loan program, what's it called? It's
I don't know the
lease
name.
program. They have a lease program.
It's a lease
Yeah,
program.
because
It's just a-
Becky did the
Permanent
one
wage.
through Savista when we were just looking at buying the rear, but she just hasn't had time because they just got this stuff over to us late Friday, so she just hadn't had time to check Savista's facts on it.
So then, what we got in the email today, was it a straight up purchase that we're gonna own it and we're gonna cut them a check and maybe get a loan later? Or there was the other document that said there was a lease of some type?
So it's like, it's a lease to own, so like, it's a lease, like we're leasing the financing from them, leasing the truck, but once we pay off the financing, then we own it.
Okay, I didn't know if we had to
Yeah,
give the
no.
thing back. I was like,
No,
what are we getting into
no.
this for?
So if we went with Savista, then obviously Savista would give them their money, and then we'd have the loan through Savista.
So, and I think this is where Andy needs to speak. You figured how many years on the single? What did you have in your spreadsheet?
It was 10, I believe.
10 years on the rear
For
packer?
replacing
Yes.
on the rears, I wanna say I thought I did 16.
That's
on
what
the
I
rears.
thought.
Yeah, one of the two, yeah.
Right.
Because
And then
they're-
eight
they're
on
not-
the single?
Eight
or
on,
no?
8 on the sidearm, a new
Yeah,
truck
right.
every 8 years was the schedule, and then a new truck for the rears every 16.
Which,
But we would get the new rear this year, and then another new rear in like 3 or 4 years from now.
yeah, because that would be replacing,
And then they would all be on
Yeah.
that
Schedule.
schedule.
Yeah.
and you had the one arm being replaced in 2027, so, I believe, so essentially, because of the 10-month lead time, we're just trying to
Where
get
it'll
that
be.
ball going now.
Right.
Yeah. The one arm is a good truck. Its mechanics are, all the action's wearing out. That's the problem.
Because the operator, probably.
Oh.
I've been told that.
Yes, I know he has.
Well,
That's for sure.
refresh my memory, Bob. Did we buy the one arm from Parsley? Did he come down and go through the whole operation of it?
Yes.
The first time we bought the one arm, did we get it through?
That's your best way, right?
Well, I think we got it through, the program.
It was through,
Sourcewell.
yes, it was, because when I got us back activated on that, the lady had mentioned the last garbage truck we bought was through Sourcewell.
Okay, I'm
So-
positive that's how we got the one arm
Yeah.
at that time. Okay.
And it's been a good truck, served us well, you know? It's just,
Yeah.
we're just getting killed on the maintenance, and then the tandem is just worn out.
So I'm assuming, because we've been through a couple, how do you want to say, mechanics, I mean, we're all staying up on the servicing of it and everything? I mean, is it just,
I say right now, we have a great mechanic, would you not agree?
I would agree, but he's not garbage truck mechanic. So he's learning, so everything that breaks, he learns for the next time.
Okay.
I would
He
agree.
is good.
Right, I see where Bob's going with this. The previous mechanic came from Rumpke. Agreed? I forgot that. Tyler did.
It came from Mac Liskey.
I thought he worked for Rumpke.
No,
Tyler?
Tyler came from.
Oh, you're talking about Tyler.
What's his name? Who's that young kid that was here?
You're right, I was talking about Fred.
Fred.
When you said that, I went to Fred, but yes,
Yeah.
Tyler, I think.
Yeah.
I think he did come from Rumpke, now you
Yeah.
say that. He
Yeah.
wasn't there long enough to.
The last real mechanic we had is the guy that went to Lawrence.
Tony Sasson.
Tony, he was the last real mechanic.
Well, I just wanna make sure we're dropping some big bucks on a garbage truck that we're
Yeah.
obviously staying on the, you
No,
know.
I would say, I think Bubba does a really good job of figuring it out and learning moving forward, but to Bob's point, I mean, there's just things on that truck he doesn't know, and Bob maintains it as well 2 or 3 times a week, so I mean, I don't think that's really an issue, and we have discussed even doing some type of a maintenance program through like Best, and just like paying for that outright. We still aren't 100% sure if we're gonna do that or not, but it's something that me, Becky, and Nate have discussed possibly doing.
So what year is the one arm we have right now? When did we buy that?
To 16, we put
This-
service in 17.
Yeah.
So it almost got, well, I mean, you
And-
guys have been having trouble with it, right? I guess the
Oh,
last couple of years.
$50,000.
50,000 last year,
Yeah,
and
okay.
Man, I don't remember having much problems with it for about,
Well,
I
that's
don't
the
know,
thing.
since 2022. I don't remember it really crapping out on us at all.
everybody you talk to, Steve, about that, like as far as like the salesmen and the Mac dealers and everybody, those trucks are basically good for 7 years.
Yeah.
After 7 years is when you start getting into all the
Yeah,
mechanical
all right.
problems and stuff, just how the truck's designed.
So the other thing about this one arm, if we commit to buy it tonight, we're getting this year's chassis, correct?
Yes, which is extremely important because,
It doesn't have the new federal regulations of the
Def. and all
Def.
that stuff.
yeah, so if we wait to buy it, the 2027 model, it's on average about another 30,000 more. So,
Okay, I'm just throwing this out. It's the same truck, right? It's the,
The same
Labrie,
snub-nosed Mac.
Labrie, but it's the Labrie atomizer,
It's the same bed,
atomizer.
right?
It's the same program. So I'm just asking, so I've been out of the garbage business for
Yeah.
a minute, but I mean, is there any other type of technology that they're doing, the one arm type stuff, or is it the same? This is what we gotta deal
Bob,
with.
to me, and you test drove, but to me, it was all pretty much the exact same as the truck you have now, other than just a
It's
few.
a front load truck that has,
It's,
a.
the La Brea is
couple extra
Canadian,
on it. Tips
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's like the
It carries
Cadillac
a dumpster.
of that operating
Load
system.
dumpster.
Okay.
It tips
And it's pretty
can
much,
after
that's
can
the
after can
best
after
one
can
you
in the
can
dumpster.
get.
Okay.
Dumpster's full.
I just, I know we looked at it and we looked at
It's a nice.
Sourcewell back in the day, and that looked like the way to go. I remember everyone was really touting it to where they could really rock and roll and get through the city pretty fast, and we just have to have that,
Especially on windy days.
It'd be nice to
other
have a
truck just to get down the cul-de-sacs and stuff, cause we couldn't get the double, dual axle trucks down those cul-de-sacs and,
Well, Lanny with Lawrenceburg, when you guys bought my truck, I went to Lawrenceburg to wash it.
That's right.
Now you know what he's driving? One exactly like mine.
is that right? Okay, that's right. We went down and looked at Lawrenceburg's that time. You sat with him driving around, okay.
But he got in my truck when I was down there cleaning it, and he goes, when I get one, they replace mine, this is what I'm getting. That's what he has,
Good,
All right.
and he loves it.
good. Okay, that helps. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I just had to ask those questions. I want to make sure that there's not another technology, if they're only gonna last 7, 8 years, man, and is there another way to do this?
Well, we're hoping that Andy, since he's got this built into his spreadsheet, in 8 years, it's got a little value left on the trade-in, is kind of what we're thinking, to help soften the blow,
Right.
Okay.
so,
Get one with extra grease
yeah.
So then, we'll do this
Yes.
tonight, but then in 10 months, when it shows up, we're gonna try to trade it, or we're gonna try to sell it back to someone, or?
Well,
I hope we don't take it out to the,
No,
No, it won't.
Steve, I think right now, and I know our contact through this, he has been working up what a trade-in value would be through them. We just haven't got that number back yet. He went on vacation. But I think right now, with the condition the truck's in, I think we can still get some money out of it. Now, like I said, the 06, that's probably going to Lutz's more than likely. We'll try and see if we can get it traded in, but I just don't know if anybody's gonna wanna give any money on a trade-in for a garbage truck. But, yeah, I mean, I don't see a reason why we wouldn't get some money out of the trade-in on the one arm
There's
next year.
nothing we can do right now with, I guess we wouldn't be trading it to Sourcewell, right? I mean, we have to
No,
get
we-
rid of it on our own.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, somebody wanna make the motion?
Can we talk about the motion?
Yeah, how do you want it to go?
You're approving the purchase of both of them to get, as a package, and allowing the clerk treasurer to pick the most financially
Most responsive?
option?
Yes.
Whether that be 3-year or 5-year through this program or through Civista's program.
Yes. Well, we all know what Becky does, and she does it well. She's going to get down, she's gonna squeeze the penny. She'll get it. What's best for Greendale.
So we don't necessarily have to give a dollar figure
No.
tonight?
We just need to,
Well, and that, the dollar figure on the 700, where is that number?
Right,
Four,
that's-
four,
that's the
nine,
total
four
purchase
ninety-one,
Yeah,
76.
that number's gonna stay the same. It would just be how we wanna finance it. Would it be 3 years, 5 years through this company, through Civista? And then, you know, what our annual lease payment might fluctuate a little bit based on 3 years or 5 years. But
Anthony, do you have any, you feeling good about this, all in all?
I didn't have a chance to review the, financing document. I mean, they're the same we've used, so I'm fine with those, but
Okay.
I haven't looked at the numbers, so I don't know which is better.
you mean as far as best way to pay for them?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, just wanna make sure we.
Well, that's where Becky shines. She'll figure that out.
Make sure that just, there's some legal stuff in there too, make sure, you know, I know she'll crunch the numbers, right, but just make sure that legally everything's on the up and up and whatnot.
It looks like there's about $95,000 worth of financing fees baked in, what they've proposed.
At the 3-year or 5-year?
3-year. 3-year. When I calculated it up a month ago or 2 months ago, whatever it was, it came out to like a 6% loan.
Yeah. I think that was right.
yeah.
Like 5.986
Yeah.
or whatever percent loan. But
This is the total.
Seven something.
It's fair.
it's just not terrific.
Right. It's not 3% anymore like it was.
Right.
You know,
So whatever you guys did at council, you guys got your rates lined up to be able to cover this, right, I guess?
yes.
You want me to do it? You got it?
So,
you. Thank you, Charlie.
well,
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of, both the, I'll call it the single arm garbage truck, as well as the single axle, rear loader, presented in the, best equipment proposal. And the amount financed that is proposed is $744,491.76. And contingent upon, review by the city attorney and the city clerk to, find the most appropriate, in the best interest of Greendale's financing for, said garbage trucks.
We have a first, we have a second.
I'll second.
Got a first and second. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. We had something happen this weekend. I think it warrants bringing up. Remember we talked, I guess it was 2 weeks ago, talked about putting a price on our line trucks, our vac truck, our street sweeper, our employees. this weekend, we had a tree trimming company come out Saturday, was that Saturday? Yep, Saturday on Deal Drive. In the first 5 minutes, they cut the limb, it comes through the service line, pulls the line off the house. They call us, we had to go out there and call Mike in from Northern Kentucky. He has to get the truck, go up the pole, disconnect.
He disconnected on the ground, rolled it up, because they were calling an electrician in to put the mast back up.
Okay.
To get it back on, and then it was left off all day because the tree trimmer said, hey, look, I'm still working here, and the homeowner wasn't in greens with all that. It wasn't, the tree trimmer said, that may not be done until Sunday or Monday. So it's like, all right, you may not be turned back on until Sunday and Monday then. And all. And then they called later that evening, there was a failure with the county, how the county used to, I don't know if you were in county, police department's closed, so the county would call us out. They called me twice, missed a call, and they're supposed to call the next person. They didn't call Nathaniel. Then the lady called, it was 6:40, called our answer first service. And then I called Mike right out, told him head out. Then I called the homeowner back and let him know someone was on the way. She's moved on.
Yeah. Now, the husband was fairly reasonable.
Yes, the husband was.
So the question came that you told him we were gonna have
I
to
said there's a
send,
possibility to be a invoice for the 2 call-outs.
Right.
And all that. He
Plus
wanted to
the
know
truck.
who's responsible. I said either you're your home or your tree trimmer. It's up to you.
but
I
we're
said,
sending the bill to him.
Yes.
So these are some of the things we need to clear up, over the next couple months and put a value to things, because this happens more than you think. Friday night, about 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock? What was that, 1135 Ridge, where you had the sewer line?
Oh, yeah, well, that was kind of ongoing, but yeah, for the most part.
Okay, so 1135 Ridge, all those houses on Ridge were there before the houses in the back of those houses now. So 1135 Ridge, the sewer line goes straight out back to McGuire. Well, somewhere along the way, they sold that lot behind it, put in a house. Now we got a sewer line continuing out to McGuire. You know how it is. And come to find out, the guy behind him had cut a tree down and tore up the
Well,
sewer.
what it was, you got 2 neighbors side by side. The neighbor that called in, his septic backed up, or not septic, his sewer backed up. So we got calls on that after we kind of determined like it's not Greendale's problem, it's a homeowner issue. It was the neighbor who had a tree that got into their lateral, and over the years they tied in both of their laterals in their backyard to create one tap out to our main instead of doing it closer to our main, so it would have been our issue. But anyways, the homeowner had issues back in the fall. He cut the tree down and decided to fix the break himself. He didn't fix it correctly. So where he tried to tie it back in together, he fixed his side and messed up the neighbor's side. So.
Of course. So we deal with it, you would think these are one-off events, but they're not. It's all the time.
So, our whole process that day was to go out and make sure the main was flowing, and then we turned it over to them, right?
Yeah, pretty much, but it was, sorry, I'm gonna cut you off, but it was kind of an argument on whose responsibility is it, and supposedly back in the day, we had the same incident go on, and Greendale said we fix it, and I'm talking like 20 years ago
2 years
type
ago.
deal, and I'm like, dude, this isn't gonna work this time, so, but it was just it was just 'cause it's a weird setup back there. We had Sean's guys for probably 2 or 3 hours out there seeing what's going on, and then checking old tapes and finding out where everything is because of what happened in that backyard, so.
Was it close to Rezzo's office?
Yeah, so you got Rezzo's office, the middle house who had the problems last fall, and then the house up from that is the one who had the problems Friday. So.
You had similar problem with Alan's house, just a few more doors down, Zach's.
Yeah.
His goes out the back all the way to wherever that street's called back there.
Yeah.
Because Rizzo has their own lateral that runs straight out, and then like I said, those 2 houses next to them, both those have their own lateral that runs out, and then halfway through the backyard that's next to Rizzo, they tied it in together and ran straight out to the main.
If the same builder did both houses, that's probably not uncommon.
No, right, and there were no easements back in the day. You and I both know how that went, right? Clay pipe, and now now there's the issue.
So what have you guys been talking about doing then? You know, last time we met, we talked about potentially like getting the FEMA, you know, rates or something, or did you wanna just specifically, was Becky gonna look to see what our hourly rates are and then start adding factors to it to cover?
We're gonna start, well, so going back to the tree trimmer, so Mike got called out, and that's a 4-hour minimum, right?
Yes, twice,
Plus the truck.
plus the truck. The truck was out about an hour each time.
Right.
So to me, that's 2 4-hour call-outs plus 2 truck fees.
Right.
And that for Saturday. But I've always used, since you showed me the FEMA rate, and that's what I use for the vehicles and all that. But even that FEMA rate is low for bucket trucks and all that compared to contractors.
Yeah, I'm just saying something that's defensible, you
Yes,
know?
something it's a constant thing using that FEMA. Every year it changes and we go off of that. And that's something we can stand on and say, yeah, since the city doesn't have a rate fee or anything in place for vehicles and all that, maybe we need to put something in.
I'm good with the FEMA rates. I mean, we're not
Smart.
trying to.
Make money.
No, that's not the
make-
point.
Make money off of our
But we all.
unfortunate resident.
Yeah, we understand how much this stuff costs to replace nowadays, so that's the, you know, so.
I think it's more important to get the labor
Yes.
cost back than it is the truck being back.
Okay. I don't disagree with that. Anthony, so do we have to go into, we'd even have to do civil city side of things too, because we've had, I can't think right off the top of my head, but I guarantee there's times we have to call civil city guys out there.
Well, we do, and so, Bob, did you go down after Farmer's Fair?
Yes.
And clean the pack the trash out for him?
Yes.
So he takes a rear loader and his time and, you know, gets called out for that. So there are other things that pop up.
Yeah.
Or that lighthouse storage unit out there by Alan Weiss's house, I sent the street sweeper out there 4 times because the mud, I mean, you saw it, it was everywhere. I mean, you were 3 inches of wading through it.
Well, we've had trees fall, private trees fall across the road, and our crews went out there and cut them up, because if not, the road wouldn't get opened. So I know multiple times.
Well, that was the other phone call we had this weekend.
That was Saturday morning and down in Craig's Trailer Park. One fell down and they were pretty understanding when I showed up, because before I called our guys out, it's so weird down there. I'm like, well, let me go see where it is. And I mean, this thing was way back in the back where we don't even go back there. And I'm like, look, that's on you guys. So, which I said, they were actually pretty understanding. They didn't like the fact that we weren't gonna come out and do it for free, but, you know, they ended up doing that.
Yeah, but you're right. So maybe a tree falls out of Wheeler's trailer court, falls onto the street. Well, we gotta get the street open, even though it's Weaver's tree.
Yeah, well, it happened over by my house, Hillside. We've had multiple trees fall over there,
Yeah.
and civil city guys came out and trimmed them up.
You know,
I think it's different, you know, when,
I think it's
Active
absolutely
nature.
justifiable
but when
to
someone
have
comes
a
in with
rate
a
of
tree,
charge.
with a big
When
truck, and
something's
they
done
tear
by
stuff up,
stupidity or
then
negligence,
they
and
got
the city
paid.
ends up having to.
Right, and if it's
But when something is an
overtime,
act of God,
you know.
like a seemingly healthy tree that goes down, or a roof that flies up, I think you've gotta.
Well, I think we can use
Pretty
discretion.
strict
Right.
protocol.
I think we can use discretion. I don't think anybody wants to punish anybody,
Yeah,
but,
that's not what I'm saying. I think discretion is a dangerous word. I think
Yeah,
you have to have well-defined circumstance.
well, yeah. Phew.
Or,
It's either we do it or we don't. I don't wanna punish the residents either, for sure, but, I mean,
well, you
who's gonna
know,
make that call? Are they gonna call you up and say, hey, Mayor, you know,
Well-
Nathan, Sean?
so we get called out on Saturday because a resident hires a tree trimmer and he's negligent. Well, that can't be on us.
that's stupidity.
Okay, how
Yeah.
about, it's happened hundreds of times that the water's blowing and going in someone's basement, and you gotta call the water crew out there, just a guy to go out there and shut it off at the meter.
Right.
Now, that's not necessarily, you know, their fault, it's just, and act of God that happened, it broke. We're gonna charge them?
I would say yes, because we gotta get them out there.
Okay, so if a tree falls over on the hillside by my house, are we, because of some wind, are we gonna charge them?
Well, you know, I think.
I don't mean to put you on the
I
spot,
know,
but I'm
right.
saying that you're gonna have to
Well,
answer those
let me give you,
questions.
for instance, about a month ago, we got a call out, I think it was a Friday night. Weaver's Trailers Court again, the guy wanted his, he called us out at noon, we turned the water off because the valve didn't work in his trailer, correct?
Correct.
And then,
Well, his hot water tank went bad, he didn't have a shut off in his trailer, so we had to kill the water.
Right.
He was replacing the hot water tank.
Common.
Yeah.
It
Happens
is.
all the time.
Then
Yeah.
we get called out late at night to turn it back on.
Sure.
yeah,
after
8
hours.
o'clock, he wants
Sure.
it back on, well, now I gotta call a guy in from Milan, you know,
I get it.
4-hour minimum.
Yeah.
Actually, is that time and a half at that?
That's a personal problem.
Huh?
That's a personal problem that they would owe you for. But there are circumstances like a
I think it-
catastrophic storm
No, I get
that
it.
is. an
But
active
just
storm.
say, and you've seen a tree just fall over because an ash tree, let's say, falls over, it's just rotted, is that gonna be, it's not a storm, it's not high winds. I don't mean to be argumentative, but I'm saying,
I'm not arguing with you, I'm just saying pick what your fight is.
yeah,
No, I get
If
that.
it's stupidity because somebody's changing his water heater on the weekend, that's personal.
Right.
But if something happens,
Well, I would think that Bob and Randy have probably been called out for trees, haven't you?
oh, hell yeah, I know
Yeah.
that.
If it's in the city right away, wouldn't it be our responsibility if
It
it fell
would.
over?
But
Yeah.
if it wasn't their tree, if the tree that fell over on multiple times is on private property, it's 7.5 feet behind the curb is the right of way, and the trees were 15 foot up on,
Up on the hill.
yeah, so
Yeah.
it's not a city tree, quote unquote.
well, I see a distinct difference between the basement issue and the tree across the road. The tree across the road is interfering with a public right of way.
Right.
Ergo, the city's got a responsibility to keep the public right of way open. As far as the guy getting his panties damp in the basement, that's a personal problem.
Oh, wait, put it.
Or whatever.
Yeah,
All right.
nobody likes damn panties.
Well, just, I guess, get Becky to
Yeah,
start
we're
working on
gonna
it.
keep working through it, we haven't.
Anthony, do we have to amend all the ordinances, both water, sewer, electric, as well as something in Civil City about, or do we put some kind of, what do
Put a
you,
pricing structure on?
well,
I'm pretty sure we have one in,
For after-hour calls.
yeah, after our call-outs already.
did
for
we do something?
utilities.
I don't remember that being in there, was it?
I think there is, don't quote me, I think there is something there, but we've never done it.
From the
Never
eighties?
billed.
Is
I
that
don't know
verbiage
how
from the
long,
eighties?
It's been a couple years.
Yeah.
But we've never really billed anybody.
Yeah.
Right.
I'd look at it before it got
Yeah.
cute. You might already have it.
Whatever, it's probably gonna need cleaned up, that's
But
for
it,
sure.
I don't think it gives you a price, like, say,
I think it's a-
$50.
yeah, I think it's a
or, like,
flat
turn it
fee.
off or something like a fat.
Oh, yeah, I remember
Yeah, but
that.
that-
Yeah.
But no-
It wasn't very close to what the cost was, I remember it now.
Yeah.
And that's all we wanna do, to try and get the cost from the
I got
employee
it.
fee, not plus the benefit package, everything.
Well-
Not too much like Anthony saying the truck fee.
Well, I think
mean, truck fee's a
Anthony,
truck fee.
Anthony could probably craft some language, I hate to say it, but it'd probably need to go in an ordinance to where it's defensible, viable, something that,
Yeah, we can do
you know,
that.
we're just not making stuff up over, you know,
No,
over.
nobody wants to do
at
that.
the
We
utility
just-
office saying this is what we're gonna
No,
charge you
yeah.
this week.
No.
We just want people to know that, you know, our guys want to be paid for what they do, and when we call them in, and they gotta come in from, I mean, we got linemen in northern Kentucky, we have water guys are out by Milan, I mean,
I get it.
there just has to be something, we just have to have a vehicle to do this, so. And what did Lawrenceburg do?
We rarely charge anyone.
I know Aurora,
Yeah.
Aurora says it on whatever, 99, the Eagle, it's, they talk about sewer backups.
Yeah.
They harp on it and said, we're gonna bill you
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
put toilet or whatever, golf balls.
Yeah,
remember that-
yeah, that's a good one.
that thing they
Yes.
have, commercial.
Also, I'm glad he brought that up. Aurora charges you your first if they go out and mow your grass, the first time they mow your grass, I don't give a shit how big the lawn is, it's $400. They only mow it once, because nobody will, once they get hammered with that, they don't want it again. So, now I know, I've talked to, this comes up at the mayor's meetings, there's a mayor in Connorsville, he sends, when he does it, he sends out, a dump truck and 2 laborers, cause they walk the property before they go in and mow it, and they'll pick up any trash, and then he's getting them for, not getting them, he's charging them dump truck, laborers, then the mower and the operator of the mower. Cause he said, we have destroyed more mowers going through high grass. So.
So you're not saying Connorsville sends their staff out to mow people's yards?
Oh, yes. Yes, they do.
I would not recommend that at all, but.
Connorsville's had some hard times. It's not like it was in the 80s.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I would ask this board to think about another financial liability perhaps while you're pondering these other little exigencies. I was contacted by a lady tonight, just before I came here, wanting to know if we had considered putting AEDs in the parks. I responded,
I'm
if we
sorry.
had, I responded to her that we had one at the pool in the summer.
Oh,
AEDs.
AEDs, okay.
And I said, we've talked about it, but it's a vandalism thing. I think it's a public safety issue, if it is an issue, and I think it's something for the Board of Public Safety to weigh in on more than the park board. I don't know, something to think about. I don't know what Lawrenceburg or Rory does, but
For
I
those
can
things-
tell you right now, if they would be a vandalism magnet in the park.
And they're expensive.
And they're very expensive.
No, I was
So-
just at a park and they had those, and I was surprised.
Talk about the hard thing.
Yeah.
Cause I thought, how do kids not open those?
We have
and-
one at the pool,
We have one at the
one over
pool.
there, one here.
Yeah, I think in buildings, like gathering type stuff, whether maybe the cabin could be one, or the pool, like you said, or the offices here. I don't know, if you're just talking about putting one on a pole
No, I'm
over.
just saying this lady sent me an email, and I thought, I'm going to this meeting anyway, perfect board to
Well,
ask to consider.
I wouldn't,
What does your
Great
park-
Parks doesn't do anything
Okay.
like that, but we definitely have them all over, but we have them in meeting
Buildings.
locations.
So-
Yeah, you wouldn't wanna put one out
I
Schneebel's
emailed her
Pond.
back that I'd bring it to this board, and ergo, here we are. So,
Okay.
think about it.
People would be running around thinking it's a cattle prod.
Oh, some little kid. Hey.
Right across the head.
Yeah, yeah.
To his younger
I
brother.
don't want that.
Come here, Mikey.
So it'd be nice to have a considered decision at some point from the Board of Public Works and Safety about the issue.
You need like a motion of some,
No,
to
I
that
think we
effect?
need to think about it, give
Okay.
it some proper thought.
Well,
and
if
then-
someone could do a little bit of researching on it, but I would think there'd be a liability just putting them out just in a park setting, I think.
Maybe reach out to Lawrenceburg and Aurora, let's see what they do.
How about our risk management group? Are they really good about getting back, or
Well, we, yeah, they are.
just give them a holler?
Yeah.
Just, they're usually good about giving some good guidance on stuff like that.
Okay. I don't have anything else, anybody? All good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, we need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Got a first, we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you all.
Sean, how's the water line going down?
Going all right. I'm calling some days, but they, had a couple services,